Mike Pendleton here with MMAsucker.com. And as I just told him off air, so excited to continuously have the opportunity to interview him, the former champ. And honestly, during these media days, I ask questions and I get excited, but no one has had better quotes and better answers than this man who is right back in the playoffs taking place later this month in Washington, D.C., the one and only Brendan Loughnane. Brendan, the quote you said to me this year that stands out, and throughout the PFL season, I kind of compile my favorite quotes from PFL fighters. And I asked you going into the South Dakota fight about being champ again, and you said, "What kind of man would it make me to be a champ for a second time?" I mean, all things considered, man, that is kind of like the purest explanation of your career in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was tough enough to get the first one. I'm still here, still battling away, still enjoying martial arts and love fighting.
You said this week on the media call with all of us that you'll never go back to normal fighting again because fighting once or twice is boring to you now. In what way, as a fighter, do you think the PFL format changed you forever?
I don't know. I just got used to regular competition and just being in it and keeping my weight low and diet. And I just couldn't imagine like starting again now and just having one fight a year, two fights a year. It just would feel so strange to me.
Yeah, with that, because obviously, if things go according to plan, like they are for yourself, you fight 4 times a year in the PFL, including the playoffs. You have the opportunity at the world title, the $1 million, all of that. But there's a difference in when you're in another organization and you are only fighting once or twice. You can review the tape. You could work on the things that may have hindered you in your last fight. The biggest difference I would believe, and I'm asking you, is it more so keeping your body and your mind right and just continuing to pay attention to details when it comes in terms of your skills, and the bigger focus is your health?
Yeah, of course. You've just got to stay healthy. You really have to stay healthy. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I'm sure now all the new guys and girls are feeling the stress of it now. We're in August. This thing started in April. It ain't easy, let me tell you.
Do you feel like your time off coming into this season was the best thing to happen to you?
Yeah, it was much needed. I didn't know I needed it until I know I needed it. You know, one of them ones. And I've come back revitalized, refreshed, and enjoying it again.
What do you think it was? It just letting your body rest? Was it maybe you need to, like you said, you didn't know you needed it? Was it maybe you didn't know you missed it until you missed it type of thing as well? Or is it just resting?
Yeah, yeah, just letting all these little old little niggly things heal. And I had a full 10 months. I got stem cells, did a lot of healing. You know, really took up some, stuff like yoga and other things like that, and just let my body heal. And now I'm just in the fire again and really enjoying it.
Well, I mean, who better to talk to than a man like yourself, especially because business is about to pick up for the organization. And I think the timing is so very ironic. We'll talk about that in a second. But August 23rd, you're taking on Kai Kamaka. Kai Kamaka, a veteran. You're a veteran. You mentioned you have as many wins as he does fights. It's even more than that. You have put in the absolute work throughout your career, and the success has been there. What do you make of Kai as an opponent?
Yeah, good opponent, solid. Comes from a great gym. Seems like a nice guy. Looking forward to it, man. Like, they're the type of guys I want to be fighting. 5 fight win streak, which I'll be looking to break.
He's a guy who kind of doesn't really get caught up in really anything. He's just one fight at a time. He's been through all the other promotions. I had a chance to talk to him before talking to you, and he told me that beating you and really just facing you is more important to him than the world title and the $1 million. Because in the moment you're kind of the guy for the PFL, especially in that division. So beating someone like you would mean something to him. For you, I'm assuming it's just get back to the title and reclaim it.
Yeah, that means a lot. Coming from a veteran like himself too. He's had a lot of fights himself. I'm a fan of his style, and I think we make for a very fan-friendly fight.
There's a difference and one thing I love, and I feel like I'm trying not to repeat questions I asked you on the media call, but there
Yeah,
is a difference in the regular season to the playoffs where not only is there, the continuous weeks of fights and training, but once you get to the playoffs, you just have to win. But as you said so eloquently, you're a finisher, you're a knockout artist. You know, points really, you don't really pay attention to points. But when you get to this stage, having been at this stage with the PFL before, once you get to the playoffs, do you feel a little bit more free where you're just like, I just have to focus on winning my fight? I don't have to worry about anything else, just the win.
I don't ever think about anything else apart from winning my fights, and then I'm just that sharp and that good that I just most of the time I end up knocking them out. So my experience just kicks in at this level. I'm coming off 2 great knockouts this year, and I'll be looking to add to it. And let's just go for a whole year of knockouts. Imagine that.
That would be fantastic. I mean, what a way to reclaim the belt, just knock out everyone in your path, right? I mean,
I hope so. God willing.
let me ask you about the Justin Gonzalez knockout because man, you are a knockout artist. And
Yeah.
was that where would you rank that among your top finishes in your career?
Uh, um, there's been a lot of them. There's been a lot of good ones
I know there's a
too.
lot. I know there's a lot, but that was and it's kind of a recency bias, but it was brutal. It was disgusting.
Yeah, I think out of all the knockouts I've ever had, that one went the most viral and got the most people's attention, just because of the sheer size of the cut. Everyone was like, "What is that?" And I think we're on about 14 million views now. It's on my Instagram. Like it's literally gone viral. Like my friend was on a flight to Spain like a week ago, and some like Spanish guy was in front of him watching it, and he was like videoing him from behind. So that's kind of like how that's gone. Like literally gone all over the world.
That is amazing. Now for yourself, I mean, you know, it was a beautifully landed shot. I mean, it was perfect. It was clean. What did you think when you saw Justin's cut?
I just pointed at it, and I was like, I just said to Jason, who was the referee, like, Jason, what are we doing here? Are you going to stop this? And he's like, nope. I was like, okay. And then we just got back to work. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, yeah, and it seemed like when the fight was stopped, that Justin would have kept fighting. I know you would have as well, but
He's a gangster. A lot of respect for that man.
yeah, what I mean, this has just been a fantastic season for you. You know, I kind of learned my lesson. I'm not going to ask about the future because let's just focus on the task at hand. I know how grueling these seasons are. You've been a champion. You've been through this ringer with the PFL, and I know you probably get asked this still to this day. But was contender series not giving you the contract still the best thing to happen in your career?
I mean, at the time, no. Do I think it is now? Yes, for sure. I'm really happy at the PFL. I've changed my family's life, and I'm about to do it all over again and get another belt and secure my legacy in this organization and in this sport.
The PFL continues to rise. The business continues to grow, and like I said earlier, you're one of them. I find it very ironic what I was mentioning earlier that as you will be preparing for your fight, they are going to be bringing Francis Ngannou in for a press conference for his pay-per-view fight against Renan Ferreira, hosted by Jake Paul. If I would have told you that fight was going to happen in 2019 when you first signed with the PFL, you probably would have called me crazy, especially with a presser being hosted by Jake Paul. But as business is growing, I'm just curious your thoughts as to your standing. You've watched it grow. You've grown. How much pride do you take and happiness do you feel in like this is my home and I love seeing it turn in from a home basically into a mansion?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good way of putting it. I love the PFL, love all the back staff. Pete's a great guy who actually cares about the sport. I love fighting for him, and I can't wait till he puts that second belt over my shoulder.
With sorry. With that being said, I know the focus is then on the season, but now with the pay-per-view model being introduced to us, do you feel that may be a future for Brendan Loughnane?
Who doesn't want to see Brendan and Pitbull? I mean, that's the fight for me. That's the fight I want. That's what everyone wants to see. So, God willing, we get the second belt this year, and I fight Pitbull for his belt. How about that?
I'm in. That I'm in. I would definitely love to
Sold.
see that. I'm all in. I don't make any decisions, but if I did, I would sign me up for that. Brendan, at this stage, and I won't keep you much longer, but at this stage, outside of this belt this year, and putting on the most exciting fights and cementing your legacy, there's really not much more for you to do. What challenges you, but also what motivates you?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know. Like if I could bottle it up and sell it, I'd be a trillionaire. I don't know what it is inside me. It gets me up every day, the fire in my belly. I just enjoy it. I love martial arts. I love training, and long may it continue, brother.
I've kind of seen this, path being laid out throughout the PFL. You started it, and Dakota Ditcheva has since followed. We've talked about the PFL big business, the global business, but I'm curious from your point of view. We've seen what PFL Europe can do. They just launched PFL MENA this year, and now PFL Africa next year. We can talk about finding guys like yourself that the PFL has done and turn them into stars. But when they're going through these other sections of the world, how big is that for the continued success of the PFL to find fighters early in their career, give them a smaller platform to eventually graduate to the global stage?
Yeah, it's great. I really enjoy what the PFL are doing. They've really taken over the world, and they're doing everything they set out to do and said they were going to do in the beginning. Really ambitious company, and I love being a part of such a growing company.
What do you think Francis brings to the table for outside of just Francis in his name? What do you think he brings to the table for the audience that will be bringing over to the PFL?
A lot. He's a great fella. His story's incredible, and we really did need him over here. What a great acquisition.
Well, what should fans expect from you when you step inside the cage against Kai Kamaka, August
When
23rd?
is when is there not fireworks when Brendan fights? Like, come on, like when it's on, it's on. I can't wait.
I can't wait. I can see it in your face. I can hear it in your tone, man. I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to talk to you again. Thank you so much for the
My
time.
guy.
All the best. And Washington, D.C. Hey, it's an election year here in the States. But if PFL were to select the president, I know who I would vote for. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to
My
say that.
guy.
No one knocks
My
out the
guy.
competition more. So, Brendan, thank you so much, man. It's
Thank
always
you,
a pleasure.
brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Have a